I'd like to report to the convention that 50 affiliates have submitted lists by the deadline that contain 1,044 names of delegates and alternates. We certified these lists and found that these people were eligible to vote. As of 9/11 this morning, 363 delegates and 9 alternates have been credentialed. We've given this list to the Secretary, and Mr. Chairman, on behalf of the committee, I move that these names be the role of the official role of the voting members of this convention.
Okay. You have moved, once again, please.
I move that the names of the 372 voters that I gave to the Secretary be the credentialed roll of voters for this convention.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Therefore, we have a question. Shall these, this be accepted as the Credentials Committee report at this time?
Aye.
Sir, I'm sorry. You please see the Credentials Committee after. That is for the morning session today. Yes, sir. Good morning. Therefore, shall this be accepted as the Credentials Committee report?
Aye.
Those opposed?
100,000 now of this campaign, but I don't think we need more than 100,000 to win a Libertarian nomination. I don't want to win it with money. I want to prove that we won with ideas, and that's what I did. But I used this as a test case. If 50 of my friends who were small businessmen and women were willing to give me about $50,000, where can we go once I get the nomination and people know you've got the nomination? And the answer is I want to go after 27 million small businessmen in this country and small business women. That's the whole key to the Libertarian Party, in my opinion. Who gets our message of freedom and less government and less regulations and less bureaucracy and throw the bums out better than a small business person who runs their own business? And their CEO, and they have to make their own decisions. They can't stand the government forms that they have to fill out. That's who gets this message, small business. And that's who this party has got to go after. And it's no coincidence that I picked Mark Schreiber as my campaign manager, because Mark was the marketing director of the Libertarian Party a couple of years ago, and he created the Small Business Initiative to go after small business people. Now, I made an appearance on Glenn Beck Radio about 2 months ago. And so in addition to my friends writing checks, the biggest thing that happened, I went on Glenn Beck, I gave this message for about, it was supposed to be a 10-minute interview, wound up being a 30-minute interview. Glenn loved it. And when it was over, I gave my website. And Glenn said, you know, you're the first Libertarian I've ever heard I've actually voted for. I actually like you. And then the money started rolling in. In a matter of about 3 or 4 days, I got $5,000 just off that one appearance on Glenn Beck.
He said they want to think about Louise, Cody, and anytime you have a cancer, anytime you have cancer, you look at it. 3 candidates, 1 shot. That roller coaster of emotion. Hardly bad. Found 30,000 petitions. This year, this week, at the Boulder 420 rally at the university. So that was kind of a high point of my career. The presidential candidate. And Charlie says the word even isn't there. Because if I actually I did.
The end of the current speaker, someone else will get 30 seconds to speak at that time. So, does that make sense to all of you? Good? Good? Yes, you can. You use the first 40 at any time. The question was, can it be used for the first 30 seconds? It can be used at any time to extend your time. So, without conservatism means runaway government. And now we can take advantage of the way our two-party system works. Two majority parties, two parties that the comics say they need some phone booths. I want to make sure we are going to become one of the two major parties.
That freedom in the people, because so many live it. We have so many rural Coloradans. I see it in the eagles flying. I see it in the elk that are literally in my front yard, and the deer. And I love that, because freedom is what being a libertarian is about. I believe that the goal almost everyone in this room seeks is understanding freedom. And each of us may have varying differences on what we think that we are in a quest for truth, for understanding freedom. And to the degree that each of us has understood that, it is our job to go out that and share with the people.
Threaten to initiate force, or engage in fraud against their fellow human beings. Another way is that people should be allowed to live their lives as they choose, so long as they don't violate the same rights of others. Now, some people say that libertarianism is radical. Libertarianism is not radical. Libertarianism is the way that the vast majority of us live the vast majority of our lives. Democrats and Republicans, conservatives, liberals and moderates, rich men, poor men, black, white, yellow, brown, all people live under those principles the vast majority of their lives. As a matter of fact, it is so important that they do so that there is a word for when they don't follow those rules. We call it criminal.
She has really activated the female voters. They really want to vote for a woman. In fact, when I was at a convention recently, a libertarian convention, I was told that a lady came up to me and she said, I will hold my nose and vote for Hillary just because she's a woman. And if a libertarian woman feels like that, you can just imagine what the rest of the population feels like. And the nice thing about that is we can address a majority, 52% of the population immediately just by putting a woman at the top of our ticket. But not just any woman. I would never advocate that. We are, after all, the party of principle. We want someone who can speak to our principles, who can excite people. And I believe that I am that candidate. For the last dozen years or so, I've been one of the top writers for the eZine by the Advocates for Self-Government, Short Answers to the Tough Questions, where I talk about libertarianism in sound bites, something that our candidate has to be able to do. I also wrote the book Healing Our World, which hit the Amazon.com bestseller list in October of 2005. And you can get a free download of the 92 version by visiting my website, votemary2008.com, or purchase the 2003 edition right here. And what it talks about is how liberty works in the only testing ground that matters, the real world. Over 200 examples of how liberty works in the real world. And that is experience, I think, that our principled libertarian candidate needs to bring to the campaign. They need to answer that question. So I hope that you'll find that I'm your candidate on this. Also, I have lots of experience, over a dozen libertarian campaigns under my belt, from back in the 80s when it wasn't so popular to talk about the war on drugs or eliminating the income tax and replacing it with nothing. I'm a veteran, and I hope that you understand that we need that in our movement.
The good news is that this is the 34th year that they've been telling me that. And you know that medical marijuana is the only medicine that I use. And I was so impressed and thrilled to see what medical marijuana did for me that my friends and I got together and wrote and passed an initiative that was the vote heard around the world. Proposition 215, the Compassionate Use Act. Those of us that participated in this wonderful exercise in democracy were immediately targeted by the IRS, local police, prosecutors, judges, virtually everyone up and down the government. As a matter of fact, I was advised by my attorneys to leave California because the police were intent on arresting me, incarcerating me without marijuana to prove their theory that I didn't really need it. So I went to Canada. I didn't flee to Canada. I wasn't a fugitive. I went to Canada with the court's permission. For 5 years, I tried to fight the criminal justice system here from Canada. I lost.
And as a fearful master, we have all seen the growth of government in recent times and the erosion of our freedoms. Now is the time for us libertarians to lead the struggle to regain those freedoms lost. Quote, if the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter, unquote. We here are at this convention are not silent. We're here to demand that our right to free speech is not squelched, that warrantless wiretaps are forbidden, and that equal rights for all citizens are ensured.
Is an SOB, a son of a butcher. I'm a citizen politician, just as the founding fathers wanted, envisioned. They were farmers, they were homeschooled, they homeschooled their kids. That's the vision that we need. That's the image that we need for this Libertarian Party, America's third party, the anti-establishment party, the anti-Washington, D.C. insiders party, the anti-status quo party, the anti-politicians party. That's an image I think is good for us. My philosophy is also good for us because it's understood by average Americans. My philosophy is simple. Take out your wallets, look inside, vote for me, and I promise to stay the hell out of there. Ask him what it is. He says, I don't know. He's a politician already. He has the answers, just doesn't know what they are. I've been a libertarian since 1980. I'm actually older than Barack Obama. But more important, I have real experience, not political experience. Political experience divides us to death. It's the political experience that gives us a lesser of two evils. It's the political experience when you ask John McCain how to balance the budget, he says, I'll cut out pork spending. Well, you can eliminate all discretionary spending and not balancing the budget. Hillary Clinton says that her national health care plan will not add to the debt. Political experience, not business experience.
Needs is, of course, a level of leadership. If there's anything I've proven in my career is that I can bring forth leadership. But it's more than that. It's really more than that. We're seeking your votes to become the standard bearer as libertarians. But after that, we're now seeking the votes of the American people to try to save this country. What appeal I would make to you is you're Americans first before you're libertarians. And you must take that to heart because our country is in serious, serious difficulty. And I know of no group that can change this country, and it has to be done in this election cycle. People wonder, I came in March. Oh yeah, he's Johnny come lately. I just got to tell you, I'm not Johnny come lately. I was a libertarian before the party ever existed. I was a classic liberal. And when you look at all the things that I've done, end the draft, stop the nuclear testing, get the Alaska pipeline, release the Pentagon Papers, I did all those in the first 4 years of my Senate career as a maverick, fighting the Democrats, Republican leadership, and the White House. Did all that, and that after that was done.
In the second quarter.